This is Mental Forge, where weakness burns and warriors are built. There was a moment in history when a young man, untested and uninvited, stood at the gates of power with nothing but belief in his chest and vision in his eyes. He had no army, no title, no wealth, but he had one thing that changed the course of the world: an unshakable belief that he was destined to conquer. That man was Alexander the Great. At just 20 years old, he inherited a fragmented kingdom. By the age of 30, he had built one of the largest empires the world had ever seen. He didn't wait for the world to give him permission. He acted as if he was already unstoppable, and that, right there, is the beginning of your transformation. Because the truth is this: for the next 30 days, if you act as if you're unstoppable relentlessly, consistently, boldly, you will rewire your reality. Not just your mindset, not just your habits. Your entire identity will shift. This isn't motivation. This is a spiritual war for your future. The battlefield is your mind, the enemy is fear, and the weapon is belief followed by action. If you're still watching, it's not by accident. You're here because something inside of you knows you were born for more. Not just to exist, but to dominate your space. Not to float through life, but to carve it with precision and power. And here's the promise: if you commit to these 30 days, you will become someone unrecognizable in the best way possible. You will begin to think differently, move with power, speak with clarity, and attract the life that has been waiting for you to wake up. Think about this: every person who achieved greatness did it because they believed in something the world couldn't yet see. Henry Ford was ridiculed for thinking he could build a horseless carriage for the masses. They said, if people want faster travel, they want faster horses. But Ford wasn't listening to the noise. He was listening to vision. He acted as if the automobile was already a reality. And because he did, it became one. So ask yourself this right now: who would I be if I acted like nothing could stop me? Let that question echo through you, not as wishful thinking, but as a call to war. What would change? Your walk? Your posture? Your tone of voice? Would you wake up with clarity or drag through the morning? Would you settle for what you've always done or rise into what you were always meant to become? For the next 30 days, you are going to walk, breathe, speak, think, and move as if you are already the highest version of yourself. Not someday, now. Because faith, as Napoleon Hill wrote in Think and Grow Rich, is the starting point of all accumulation of riches. But faith is not passive. It's not whispering affirmations into the void. It's decision backed by action, and action backed by identity. You don't get rich, strong, respected, or powerful by waiting to feel ready. You get there by choosing identity first. So for the next 30 days, this is your law. I act as if I already am. You speak like the future you, dress like the future you, think, decide, and execute like the future you. Not because you're faking, but because you're creating. You are conditioning your subconscious mind to believe and behave in alignment with power. Here's your first ritual. Every morning, before you check your phone, before you scroll, you will stand tall. Look in the mirror and say aloud, I am a force. I am focused. I am disciplined. I am unstoppable. I am building my empire. Do not whisper it. Declare it. Make your nervous system feel the energy of your words. Let your subconscious hear certainty, not hesitation. Write those words down. Keep them by your bed. Say them every morning. Why? Because repetition is how the brain learns. It's how we rewire fear, doubt, and weakness into power, certainty, and strength. Now let's talk vision. One of the greatest minds to ever live, Nikola Tesla, didn't just invent with metal and wires. He built from imagination. Tesla said, I do not rush into actual work. When I get an idea, I start at once building it up in my imagination, and I change the structure, make improvements, and operate the device in my mind. That's your blueprint. Visualization is not a spiritual luxury. It's a neurological necessity. Every day, for 5 minutes, close your eyes and visualize your ideal self moving through your day. See the power in your stride, the clarity in your eyes, the success unfolding around you. Your brain does not know the difference between real and vividly imagined. Use that truth. And if you're resonating with this so far, if you feel that inner shift already beginning, take a second to subscribe to this channel. Because we're building something bigger than videosware, building a movement of unstoppable minds, and we want you on that journey with us. Now let's go deeper. Andrew Carnegie, one of the richest men to ever live, once said, "The man who acquires the ability to take full possession of his own mind may take possession of anything else to which he is justly entitled." Ownership of the mind is step one, and you take ownership by giving it orders, not requests. That's what most people miss. They hope their mind will change. They hope they'll feel motivated. But hope is not a strategy. Command is. So here's your next challenge. Every hour today, pause for just 5 seconds and ask, "Am I moving like I'm unstoppable?" That question will interrupt the pattern. It will break the trance of small thinking. And over time, those interruptions become new pathways. Neuroscience calls it neuroplasticity. Spiritually, it's called alignment. Practically, it's how you change your life. Let's talk fear. Fear is the devil's whisper. It disguises itself as reason, caution, delay. But in Outwitting the Devil, Napoleon Hill revealed the truth. Fear thrives in indecision. The more you hesitate, the louder it gets. You kill fear through repetition and vision. You drown it with decisive movement. So every time you catch yourself hesitating this month, say out loud, "Move." That's your kill switch. Simple, direct, powerful. And start journaling. Every night, write 2 pages. First page, how did I act today, as if I were unstoppable? Second page, what can I improve tomorrow to be even more aligned with my vision? This reflection activates your reticular activating system, the brain's internal GPS, to notice and reinforce winning behaviors. You're no longer living by chance. You're living by design. Winston Churchill, standing in the darkest days of war, once said, "If you're going through hell, keep going." That's what the unstoppable do. They don't retreat from the storm. They walk into it, because storms don't last but strong minds do. If you've ever felt like life was against you, like every time you try to rise something pulls you back, remember this. Pressure doesn't mean punishment. It means preparation. The universe is shaping you for greatness, but only if you show up like you believe it. Every time you take action in the face of doubt, you reinforce a new identity. And identity is destiny. So decide today, who am I becoming? Write it down, not in vague terms. Be exact. Detail the habits, the mindset, the energy, the income, the impact, the environment, the circle of influence. Be ruthless in clarity, because clarity is power. And one more thing, if you've found even one idea here that hits home, make sure you're subscribed. It's not about number sits, about building a tribe of warriors, dreamers, and builders who refuse to play small. You're one of them, and we've only just begun. You see, the world doesn't respond to your needs, it responds to your standards. Raise your standards, and everything begins to shift. Tony Robbins said, "The only thing that's keeping you from getting what you want is the story you keep telling yourself about why you can't have it." Think about that for a second. What story have you been living? What if, for the next 30 days, you deleted that story and wrote a new one that begins with, "I am unstoppable"? Because here's the truth. Your subconscious mind doesn't know what's real or imagined, but it does obey emotion. So when you speak your new identity with emotion, when you visualize with emotion, when you take action with energy, you activate the subconscious in ways science is only beginning to understand. Joseph Murphy, in The Power of Your Subconscious Mind, wrote that your subconscious is like fertile soil. Whatever you plant fear or faith, it grows. So be intentional. Plant faith. Water it with discipline. Shine the light of vision on it daily. Now let's talk about wealth, not just financial, but personal power. Wallace D. Wattles, in The Science of Getting Rich, said that getting rich is not a matter of environment or luck. It's a matter of doing things in a certain way. That certain way is what we're building now. The way of clarity, belief, focus, and relentless motion. Every day, you will do one thing that scares you. One email, one call, one decision, one risk. Why? Because fear is a liar. And the way you train your brain to stop believing it is by proving it wrong every single day. Courage is a muscle. If you don't use it, it weakens. But if you push it just a little each day, it begins to expand your reality. Abraham Lincoln once said, "I will prepare, and someday my chance will come. But here's the thing they said, he failed in business, lost elections, battled depression, but he prepared anyway. He moved anyway, and when the moment came, he didn't rise to the occasion, he rose to the level of his preparation. That's the path. Prepare like you're already in demand. Move like you've already won. Speak like kings and queens are listening, because your inner world is the signal that tells the outer world how to respond. Here's a daily discipline that will change your state instantly. It's called the victory list. Every morning, before doing anything else, write down 10 things you've done in your life that prove you're not average. Achievements, challenges overcome, things you're proud of. Why? Because memory shapes confidence. And when you constantly revisit proof of your own power, you stop waiting for someone else to validate it. Let's bring in another historical giant, Benjamin Franklin, a man with almost no formal education, who taught himself multiple languages, sciences, inventions, diplomacy, and self-mastery. You know how he did it? Through self-observation and accountability. He created his own scorecard of virtues, things like temperance, discipline, humility, and he tracked them daily. Try it for yourself. Choose 5 traits: discipline, decisiveness, gratitude, energy, execution. Then, each night, score yourself 1 to 5. No guilt, just awareness. Over time, this tracking becomes self-sculpting. You're not just working out your body, you're building your soul in layers. Now, let's go into the realm of decisions. The law of success teaches that successful people decide quickly and change slowly, if at all. Average people waver, stall, second guess, delay. Why? Because fear controls their compass. But you are now becoming a person of decision. That means when you sense alignment, you don't wait for perfect clarity, you move, you trust, you adapt on the way. You don't stand still at the edge of greatness, because the map isn't complete. Clarity comes from engagement, not overthinking. So engage. And while we're here, make a decision now. If you haven't already subscribed to this channel, not later, now. Because every day, we're dropping weapons for the mind. And if this is resonating, it means you're one of us. Now let's go deeper into the subconscious. Bob Proctor said, "You were born rich. Not just with money, but with potential. But potential is nothing without expression." The problem? Most people live stuck in the paradigms, belief systems they inherited from parents, school, society, and they never question them. But now, you must. So here's your journal prompt tonight. What limiting beliefs am I carrying that were never mine to begin with? Write them out, name them, and then ask, what belief would a truly unstoppable version of me choose instead? This is how you become new, not by pretending, but by releasing the old. Let's bring in Leonardo da Vinci, a man obsessed with mastery. He studied anatomy, flight, nature, art, engineering. And he said, learning never exhausts the mind. What made him great wasn't talent, it was curiosity, obsession, focus. So let's harness that. Choose one skill this month, just commit to improving it every single day. Not for hours, just 15 minutes a day. Read, study, practice, reflect. That's over 7 hours of focused growth in 30 days. Stack that for a year, and you've outgrown 90% of people who stay busy but don't build. Now let's talk money. Robert Kiyosaki taught that the rich don't work for money, they make money work for them. You must now shift from being a consumer to being a creator, from an employee mindset to an ownership mindset. So for this 30-day challenge, open a document and start building your financial power plan. Ask, what skill do I have that the world will pay for? What offer can I create around that skill? Who do I need to become to deliver it with excellence? What systems do I need to put in place to scale it? What habits do I need to delete that waste my energy and money? These are not just financial questions, they are freedom questions. Because wealth, at its root, is about energy. You either leak it or you build it. You either consume distraction or you produce value. You either play for dopamine or you play for legacy. Your rituals reveal your future. So let's add another one. Each evening, before sleep, breathe deeply for 2 minutes. Then repeat softly in your mind, I am enough. I am chosen. I am powerful. I am guided. I am free. I act boldly. I live with purpose. I create with faith. I am unstoppable. Do this as your final act before sleep. Why? Because the subconscious mind is most programmable in the alpha and theta states right before sleep, and after waking, use it. Winston Churchill, once asked about his unshakable calm during wartime, said, "I have nothing to offer but blood, toil, tears, and sweat." That's power. That's leadership. That's what it takes. But the reward? Legacy. And that's what this is all about. You're not doing this just for money, or muscles, or applause. You're doing it because there's a deeper call inside you. A knowing that you were put here to build something more. You're here to become a builder of nations, a leader in your home, a warrior in your mind, a giver in your soul. And it starts with how you show up today, and every day. If this is speaking to your spirit, subscribe now, and let this become your daily fuel. We're just getting started. Most people walk through life reacting to stress, reacting to people, reacting to emotions. But you, from now on, you respond from principle, from identity, from purpose. John D. Rockefeller, one of the richest men who ever lived, once walked into a boardroom during a financial panic. The market was crashing. Executives were in chaos. People were yelling, planning exits, some close to tears. He entered the room, looked around slowly, and said in a calm voice, "Gentlemen, I believe this is the time to buy." He wasn't calm because he didn't feel fear. He was calm because he had trained himself to stay anchored in chaos. And that's what you're now learning to do. You're not just building income, you're building inner infrastructure. Because power without peace is self-destruction. But when you can stay centered in the storm, when you can own your state, shift your focus, and command your emotions, you become unshakable. So here's a new ritual: the emotional reset. Whenever you feel anger, overwhelm, anxiety, stop. Place your hand on your chest. Breathe in for 5 seconds. Hold for 5. Exhale for 5. Ask yourself, what state am I choosing? Who am I right now? Who do I want to be? Do this 3 times a day for the next 30 days. It rewires the nervous system. It gives you back control. It reminds you, I don't chase peace, I generate it. Now let's talk identity. Every day you act in conflict with your desired identity, you leak personal power. Every time you say, I'll do it tomorrow, you reinforce weakness. Every time you say, this is just how I am, you cement your limits. But every time you act in alignment with the identity you've chosen, even when it's hard, you carve new grooves in your brain. And eventually, those grooves become highways. Here's the affirmation: I am not what happened to me, I am what I decide to become. That's it. Say it aloud. Say it daily. Say it when you feel tired, or uncertain, or low. It's not a lie. It's a choice. And choice is where power begins. Let me tell you something critical. Identity is not found. It is forged. You forge it in fiery mornings, hard conversations, bold moves, relentless action. Every time you do the hard thing when no one is watching, the real you sharpens. You are not your emotions. You are not your failures. You are not your past. You are the builder of your present and the architect of your future. Marcus Aurelius, the philosopher emperor of Rome, once wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." That's not theory. That's eternal truth. You don't control circumstances, but you always control your response. And your response creates your reality. This is where spiritual power comes in. Understand this. You are not just a brain and body. You are spirit in motion. You are energy with intention. You are consciousness gifted with form. That means you don't just operate on logic, you are connected to something divine. When you walk in faith, not fear, you activate that divine connection. You move with grace, you feel protected, you stop looking around for signs and start creating them. So here's a spiritual ritual. Every morning, sit for 2 minutes in silence. Breathe. Place your attention on your heart. Ask, what is my highest calling today? Then listen. Trust. Obey. Over time, your intuition sharpens. Your inner compass gets louder than the outer noise. You stop second guessing and start moving in flow. Now let's come back to your environment. Environment is stronger than willpower. You cannot become a lion in a den of sheep. So audit your space, audit your people, audit your inputs. Unfollow people who drain your energy. Distance yourself from those who normalize mediocrity. Rearrange your room if you must. Make your space a sanctuary for your growth. On your walls post your vision. On your phone set, your affirmations. In your headphones listen to content that strengthens your spirit, not poisons it. Make everything around you echo the person you're becoming. Remember, nothing around you will change until you change what you tolerate. So here's a weekly challenge. Every Sunday, review the past 7 days. Ask, did I move like the person I want to become? Where did I shrink? Where did I rise? What one habit must I kill this week? What one behavior must I amplify? Track it, write it, study it, because what you don't measure, you can't master. Now, a reminder from Charles M. Schwab, one of Carnegie's protégés. He said, "The man who does not work for the love of the work, but only for the money, is not likely to make money nor to find much fun in life." What does that mean for you? It means tie your work to something deeper. Find meaning in your effort. Connect your grind to your mission. That's how you avoid burnout. That's how you become magnetic. People can feel when you're aligned. They can sense when you're tapped in. That's when doors open. That's when allies appear. That's when you move from pushing life to attracting life. And listen closely, this part matters. You are not chasing success. You are becoming someone worthy of it. So don't ask, when will I get there? Ask, who must I become to deserve what I want? And that's a question for your journal tonight. Write it at the top of the page. Who must I become? Let your spirit answer, not your ego. And finally, commit this to memory. I am not here to survive. I am here to rise. I am not here to wait. I am here to create. I am not here to follow. I am here to lead. I am not here to shrink. I am here to expand. I am not here to fit in. I am here to become. And as you breathe those words in right, now know this. Every choice you make from this moment is a vote for who you will become. So cast wisely. And one more time, if this message is moving something inside of you, subscribe. Join this journey. You are not meant to walk this road alone. We're building a global brotherhood and sisterhood of minds who are done playing small, done hiding, done delaying, and you belong here. Let's talk about something most people avoid: resistance. That invisible wall between your intentions and your action. That inner drag that tells you to wait, that whispers, tomorrow, that convinces you to scroll when you should execute. It's not laziness, it's not weakness, it's resistance, and resistance is universal. Every great mind, every powerful leader, every builder and warrior has felt it. The difference? They move anyway. Stephen Pressfield, in The War of Art, called it the enemy within. He said the more important a task is to your soul's evolution, the stronger the resistance you'll feel toward it. Which means, when you feel it, it's a signal not to stop, but to step forward. So here's the new command. When I feel resistance, I rise. Say it, own it, burn it into your identity, because you are no longer a person who needs permission to move. You are the permission. Now let's elevate this. Discipline isn't punishment, it's devotion, it's self-respect made visible. Theodore Roosevelt, one of the most forceful leaders in American history, was born sickly and weak. He was told to avoid exertion, to stay indoors, but he refused. He built his body through effort. He trained his mind through books and speeches. He developed his will through action. And later in life, it showed. War hero, president, explorer, writer. He said, do what you can, with what you have, where you are. That's the essence of personal power. So ask yourself, am I doing what I can with what I have, or am I waiting for perfect conditions? Perfect conditions don't exist. Discipline is the bridge between the now and the future you desire. So let's make it practical. Every week, you will choose a non-negotiable power habit. One thing, no excuses, no modifications. It might be, wake at 6 a.m., cold shower daily, no social media before noon, gym 5 days a week, create for 1 hour a day, read 20 pages daily. Whatever it is, choose it and track it. Don't overcomplicate. One habit, 7 days. Build the muscle, then stack the next one. Because consistency is your new identity. Let's shift to wealth. Not just the outer money, but the inner capacity to create and manage abundance. In You Were Born Rich, Bob Proctor taught that wealth is not about hard work alone, it's about alignment, vibration, and thought. Money flows where value is created and received in confidence. So ask yourself, how do I treat money? Like a scarce resource, or like a tool of creation? Scarcity chokes flow, gratitude expands it. So every night, write down, today, I honored wealth by. Today, I blocked wealth by. Tomorrow, I will create wealth by. Track your financial attitude like you would your fitness. Money isn't just math, it's mindset. Julius Caesar once crossed the Rubicon River, an act of war that could not be undone. He said, "The die is cast." That's what decision looks like. That's what boldness feels like. No backup plan. No retreat. And you're at your Rubicon. You've lived on the side of hesitation long enough. It's time to cross. Declare it. This is my Rubicon moment. I leave behind indecision, fear, delay, and the old self. I step into identity, purpose, wealth, and destiny. I move without apology. I lead without fear. This is your new standard. So now, let's construct your unstoppable framework, the internal architecture that holds this power in place for life. There are 4 pillars. Write them down. 1. Discipline, not mood-based action, mission-based execution. You do it because it aligns, not because it feels good. 2. Clarity. You know your next goal, your bigger mission, and the identity required to get there. You write them out weekly. You speak them daily. 3. Bold action. You don't wait for the perfect plan. You move, you learn, you adjust. Every day includes action that expands your world. 4. Resilience. You build bounce-back power. You don't fear failure, you metabolize it. You don't avoid setbacks, you use them as fuel. This is your foundation, and here's how to reinforce it. Morning. Affirmations, vision, clarity. Daytime. Focused creation, powerful posture, aligned decisions. Evening. Review, reflection, correction. Weekly. Self-audit, goal refinement, one bold move. Every action is identity reinforcement. Every moment is mental training. Every week is a new level. And one more layer: your wealth system. Create a simple document. Call it My Wealth Map. Inside, write these questions. What's my current skill that can be monetized? What value do I offer that people need? Who is my ideal client or customer? How can I serve them daily? What system will allow me to scale my effort without trading time for money? This isn't a business plan, it's a freedom plan. Update it weekly. Build it quietly. Let your bank account reflect your new mindset. Because now, you don't work for money. Money works for your mission. And as we near the end of this segment, I want you to look back for a moment, not with regret, but with power. Look at the version of you that tolerated too little sleep, too much doubt, too many excuses. Say goodbye, because today, you are choosing, not a wish, a decision, to act as if you are unstoppable, not someday, but now. Let this become your declaration. I am the architect of my future. I command my focus. I move with purpose. I embody my values. I act with clarity. I attract abundance. I reject fear. I pursue greatness. I build momentum. I honor discipline. I speak truth. I finish strong. I am unstoppable. And once again, if you've stayed with this message until now, it means your soul is awake. Don't walk this journey alone. Subscribe and join this movement. Every week, we build together mindset, wealth, identity, growth. You are part of this. And your rise has already begun. Let's pause for a moment and breathe. Not to slow down, no. Not to lose momentum, but to connect deeper. Because you are not here to be frantic. You are not here to panic your way into purpose. You are here to move with divine stillness and bold fire. This is the paradox of power. Still inside and blazing on the outside. Grounded in soul, sharp in motion. This is what separates you from the world. You are no longer the person who reacts to life. You are the person who responds with clarity and commands with certainty. So right now, take one deep breath and repeat silently, I am still, I am strong, I am ready. This is your final transformation. For the last 30 days, you've trained your mind to obey, you've watched your thoughts, you've trained your emotions, you've claimed new habits, you've moved when fear rose, and you've started becoming the person your younger self prayed for. But now it's about who you are becoming next. Because the mountain doesn't end at the first peak. There are higher places to go. And the version of you that can live on that next summit, he or she must be forged right now. Not next year. Not after one more book. Not when it's easier. Now. And for that to happen, you need to create something greater than goals. You need a vision codea set of personal commandments that guide your days, shape your actions, and protect your future. So here's your final journaling mission. Title the page, My Personal Code. Then complete the following declarations. I live with, I lead with, I build with, I protect, I rise when, I never allow, I commit daily to, I will become. Write these with fire. Write them like your life depends on it, because your future does. From now on, this is your personal constitution. You don't drift into each week wondering what matters. You live by code. Because a man or woman with a code cannot be enslaved by fear, by culture, by weakness, by lies. A person with a code becomes free. And freedom? Freedom is what we're after. Not just financial freedom, internal freedom. The freedom to walk away from what drains you. The freedom to say yes only when it aligns. The freedom to walk boldly without permission. The freedom to shape reality with your words, choices, and identity. That is true wealth. So here's the final daily ritual, your Freedom 5. Every morning, speak these 5 lines out loud. 1. I am guided by purpose. 2. I act with bold clarity. 3. I grow through every challenge. 4. I speak only what aligns with truth. 5. I live as if I cannot fail. Say it. Feel it. Move through your day with that energy. You don't need to be louder than others. You need to be clearer within yourself. Now, legacy. What is all this for? It's not for likes, not for status, not even for riches alone. It's for impact. Because one day, your name will be spoken by someone you never met. One day, someone will say, because of him, because of her, I didn't give up. I went further. I rose. Legacy is not built in grand moments. It is built in small daily decisions done in alignment, done consistently, done with love and power. So here's your final assignment. Write your legacy. 1 page. Begin with, I am becoming the kind of person who, and don't stop until you've poured out your future. Then every week, read it. Let it guide you. Let it shame your excuses and elevate your courage. And one final truth. You don't need to be perfect to be powerful. You just need to be committed. You don't need to know all the steps. Just take the first one with boldness and faith. The path appears when the man or woman starts walking. And as you walk, carry this. You are not average. You are not broken. You are not late. You are chosen. You are ready. You are rising. You are a force. You are a creator. You are the fire that will burn down limitation and light up generations. You are unstoppable. And if this journey lit something in you, if it spoke to the part of your soul that's been waiting, watching, hoping, then subscribe. Not for ego, but for commitment. Because you belong to this tribe now. And we are not turning back. We move forward together. So take a breath, stand tall, and walk out of this message not just inspired but transformed. The next 30 days will shape the next 30 years. Choose identity over fear. Choose faith over doubt. Choose creation over consumption. Choose freedom over comfort. Choose now over someday. Act as if you're unstoppable for 30 days, and you'll never be the same again. Because the truth is, you always were. From here, you move into relentless refinement. Because greatness is never finished. It evolves, it expands, it demands more of you. But you're built for it. Think back to Alexander the Great, as a young man sent to school in Macedonia, tutored by Aristotle, steeped in philosophy and strategy. Yet when the time came, he didn't become trapped in theory. He forged identity with action. He built an empire not because he had followers, but because he had fire in his bones and clarity in his purpose. That clarity didn't come from calm, it came from conflict. It came from choosing to push forward when everything told him to wait. And that applies to you. You're cultivating clarity not from comfort, but from crisis, not from ease, but from demand. Because comfort trains mediocrity, pressure trains power. Now, let's call in the Master Key System by Charles F. Honnell. He taught that the mind is a magnet and your thoughts become realities. But it only works when you combine thought with concentrated focus. It's not daydreaming, it's directed imagination, acting through action. So here's your next practice. Every day, for 15 minutes, engage in conscious concentration. Not multitasking, not half attention. Sit in silence, eyes closed, visualize your highest self. Feel alignment, hold it, anchor it, then open your eyes and act on one aligned task immediately. This simple act rewires the mind for clarity, confidence, and command. And let's bring back James Allen. As a man thinketh. He said your mind is the garden, and your thoughts are the seeds. So focus your mental compost on faith, purpose, gratitude, love, vision. Weed out fear, guilt, comparison, self-pity, excuse. Every day, prune your inner garden. Choose the seeds you plant. That brings us to Earl Nightingale's The Strangest Secret. You become what you think about most of the time. So this month, monitor your mind feed. Catch every doubt, every defeat script, every limitation voice. Don't push it, just name it, then say into it, not today. Replace it with a vision, a declaration, a promise you make to yourself. And build the habit of gratitude amplification. Each night, write 5 things you're grateful for. But choose things that stretch belief. I'm grateful for the breakthrough that's forming in my life that I can't see yet. I'm grateful that my subconscious is waking up. Gratitude doesn't just feel good, it reshapes your frequency. Now listen. This is not spiritual fluff. This is practical neuroscience. Gratitude rewires dopamine pathways. Visualization builds deep neural circuits. Affirmations retrain your inner voice. Journaling rewires your structural patterns. You're literally redesigning your identity. On the economic side, let's talk about success through a positive mental attitude. Napoleon Hill and W. Clement Stone taught that attitude determines altitude. So posture matters, speech matters, self-image matters. Stand like you're already powerful. Talk like your words carry force. Write like your dreams are non-negotiable. Every morning when you speak your declarations, do so with body alignment. Chest up, shoulders back, jaw firm, project presence. The physical body follows the mind and vice versa. Actions speak louder than affirmations alone. Now, strategic thinking. Let's bring in strategic lessons from Marcus Aurelius and Alexander the Great. From Aurelius, the Stoic wisdom. Death smiles at us all. All a man can do is smile back. Anchor yourself in impermanence. Let life's flux make you fearless. Life is chaotic, but a disciplined mind with clarity becomes serene. Resilience is not about resisting change, it's about commanding response. Alexander, the strategic mindset was always beyond his immediate zone. He thought 5 moves ahead. He anticipated resistance not as a showy stopper, but as a map. He visualized entire campaigns before the first army marched. That's how he commanded empires with a small force. And that is your model. Think 3 steps ahead. Anticipate resistance. Build plans that account for pressure. And then small action turns into unstoppable momentum. Next, let's layer in Think and Grow Rich. The concept of mastermind, of desire backed by plan, of auto-suggestion, of specialized knowledge, of organized planning. This is your 30-day crucible. Build your mastermind, reach out to others doing the work, share accountability, share breakthroughs, desire, not wishful thinking, but fierce knowing. Auto-suggestion, your declarations, your affirmations. Specialized knowledge, study one area deeply. Plan, map weekly goals, steps, metrics. And where the plan falters, execute with stubbornness. Now another ritual for discipline expansion. Resistance reversal work. When resistance shows up, your to-do list becomes noise. Your energy dips. Do this. Take the next task you feel stuck on and work on it for only 5 minutes. Just 5, no more. Then stop. Did the resistance drop? Often yes. Then keep going. If not, pause and return later, and yet always come back. This confirms to the mind, resistance doesn't win, commitment does. This is the identity hack. You are not a procrastinator. You are a human who follows through in 5-minute increments. That builds momentum, that cracks the ice, that turns hesitation into action. Then let's cover systems thinking, borrow from the law of success and the science of getting rich. Build systems, not chaos. Systems free your mind to execute. Systems remove friction. Systems preserve identity. So automate your habits. Morning affirmation alarm, gratitude journal, workout calendar, intake of quality content only, and weekly review block. Structure your life to support your excellence. And let us not forget The Millionaire Mind by Thomas J. Stanley. Mindset around money is not flashy cars or instant wealth. It's patience, discipline, long-term thinking, value creation. So practice delayed gratification. Work daily on value. Let the compounding of effort, presence, trust, relationship produce wealth. Let money reflect consistency. At this point, you've built rituals, identity, habits, vision, systems. But let's anchor them in your code. Every time you feel yourself slipping back into old patterns, fear, procrastination, distraction, pause. Take the emotional reset breath. Ask, am I moving as the future me? And say, I am the guardian of my code. That code you wrote is your constitution. Live by it. Now it's time to weave legacy with impact. Because identity without contribution is arrogance. Contribution without clarity is chaos. So step into legacy by building impact today. Could be a message you send, a lesson you share, a value you deliver. Could be small, but let it compound. Let your creation serve others. That trains humility and expansion. Write a short letter to someone you don't know, someone who will rise because of what you're building. Imagine they receive it in 5 years, and they thank you. Let that future gratitude elevate your present purpose. Now, as we begin approaching the final stretch of characters, remember what got you here. Not cleverness, but courage. Not insight, but integrity. Not ambition alone, but aligned action. So affirm, I am the courage that my future self needs. I am the integrity my mission requires. I am the action my identity demands. Let this go on repeat in your mind. If you're still listening deeply, still breathing okay, still feeling that tug of expansion, then pause for a moment. Look at your reflection, or just at the screen and say, I am not just watching another video. I am stepping into a transformation. And now this next 30 days that you've designed, that you've populated with identity, code, ritual, habit, meaning is your foundation for a lifetime. Not because the days themselves matter, but because who you become through them matters. This is your new baseline. Your previous baseline is now obsolete. And let me say to you, from one steady soul to another, keep going harder, keep going deeper. Celebrate no one but your own rising. Let arrogance die and wisdom grow. Let impatience bow to discipline. Let excuses fall and integrity reign. You are becoming unstoppable because you chose to walk this path. You chose identity over excuse, clarity over confusion, action over apathy, legacy over comfort. And now, at the end of this journey, I want you to place one final intention. I will not stop. Say it, own it, let it echo in your bones. Because true freedom arrives not when you escape discomfort, but when you master it. And when you master discomfort, you master life. So stand up, breathe once more. I will not stop. I am unstoppable. And with that, I deeply believe in your rise. I believe in your becoming. I will see you at the summit. One last time, if you feel anchored in this mission, if you feel like you've been waiting for someone or something to stir your soul, subscribe and join this global tribe. Share your progress. Engage in community. You're not alone. You're becoming the living proof of what 30 days can do. This message is bigger than personality. It's your becoming, your legacy, your daily fire, and you answer the call. You are unstoppable Welcome to your next life. We'll see you at the top. Champions, your mind has been forged a little stronger today, but the real test isn't what you learned, it's what you do with it. Take action, dominate your day, and remember, we're not just building better thoughts, we're forging unstoppable lives. The forge doesn't stop, and neither do you. If this episode hit you where it counts, subscribe to Mental Forge Academy and join the brotherhood of champions who refuse to settle for ordinary. Go transform, strike while the mind is hot.